Good morning, folks. Chumash and Rashi, the Torah portion, is Balak. Getting some interesting stuff today. I mean, every day it's very interesting. That's the truth. Truth be told. Um, but today we get some supporting characters that are real characters. Like, talking donkey. All donkeys talk. The only question is if we hear them talk. All righty. Third portion, Parshas Balak, Bamidbar, Numbers 22, verse 21. Yakum Balak, and Balak got up Babaker in the morning. Right? He got the go-ahead from God to now go and well, listen to whatever God tells him. And he saddled his she donkey. And he went with the dignitaries of Moav. Rashi in 21. He saddled the she donkey Mikan. From here we see that hatred disrupts the correct order of things. In other words, people deviate from their normal behavior acting out of hatred. Because he saddled his own donkey. Right? Back in the day, great people, they didn't saddle their own donkey. They had servants who did that for them. He did it for himself. Right? Why? Because he was so eager to go and curse the Jews. Hashem said, Rasha, evil one, Avram, their forefather has preceded you, came before you. Shenemar, it says, by him Avram Babaker, that Avram rose in the morning, and he saddled his donkey. Avram also saddled his donkey early in the morning and didn't have his servants do it. He did it out of love. In other words, out of love and hate, you do things that are not normal. Right? You do things that are not normal. Right? Why Rashi had to say about Avram over here is a good question. I think the Rebbe brings it up. Imsar Mayav with the dignitaries of Mayav, Liba Kilibam Shava. His heart and their hearts were equal. In other words, they went with the same frame of mind. They went with the same, mission to do harm. Yichar af Elokim, and angered. Yichar means angered. Actually, no. I mean, it's the flare up. Af is the anger. Because he's going, Malach Hashem, and he made stand there the angel of God, in the pathway to thwart him. And he is riding his donkey, and two servants were with him. Rashi in 22, because he was going raw, Bilam saw that this matter was evil in the eyes of God. But yet he longed to go. He saw that. The Satan lie, so he put an angel there to impede to him. Malach Sherachimim. This was an angel of mercy. He wanted to prevent Bilam from sinning. That he shouldn't sin and perish. Look at that. God sends, right? Because before it said that God was angry, was that Shem Elokim, and now it says Malach Hashem. Malach, the name Hashem is used in a reference to compassion. So he has compassion, God's angel, that he shouldn't sin and perish. And his two young men were with him. Mikan, from here we see for an important person, when he embarks on a journey, he should bring with him two men, to serve him. And they in turn serve each other. The two men, right? It's the name of Hashem. It's the name of compassion. Okay? Because it says the Malach of Hashem. 23. And the she-donkey, the donkey saw, is a Malach Hashem, saw the angel of God. Nitza Badero that was standing in the pathway, Bechar by Shalufa, and the sword was drawn, Biyada in his hand, in the hand of the angel, right? In the hand of the angel, there was the sword of God. It was drawn. Bateta also minader. So what did the donkey do? It turned from the path. Batela, Basoda, and went on the field, right? Not on the road, went on the field. Yach Bilam is saying. So what did Bilam do? He hit the donkey. La say to bring him back to the path. Huh? To her, yeah, hit her. Right. This is conjugal violence. Animal. Huh? Animal abuse. Well, yeah, animal abuse. Well, we'll see. We'll see soon. But Tevya also in the donkey she saw, and Bilam didn't see. The donkey saw what Bilam couldn't see. That God granted permission to the animal to see more than that man can see. For as a result of the greater intelligence, a person would go mad in seeing what the animal can see. When they would see harmful spirits.
Who was the demon? That angel?
That angel wasn't a demon, even though it says harm. No, he's speaking in general. Harmful spirits, right? Others, the animal can see things that the human can't see, because if human would see it, a person would go mad, right? The animal, they don't have intelligence enough to go mad from that which they see. We see that, in general, animals, their capability of sniffing and, sniffing things out and so on and so forth are much more powerful than they are by the human. And the sword was drawn in his hand of the angel. So the angel said, Rosh Hazeh, this evil one, he put aside his craft. The weapon of the non-Jewish nations is that of the sword, right? You look at non-Jewish history, it's all about one nation defeating another nation, one king, going after another kingdom, and so on and so forth, right? It's about the sword. That's what life is. So he comes against them, with his mouth, which is the craft of the Jewish people. So often so I'm going to grab his trait, and I'll come against him with his own crafts, right? Which will be the sword. That's why he has the sword. And that was Bilam's end, by the way. As Bilam ben Beor harga becharev, that Bilam, the son of Beor, it says in the verse in later on in Parshas in Parshas Matais, actually next week. I know, in 2 weeks rather. In 2 weeks, it says there the Bilam, the son of Beor, was they slew with a sword. Okay, that's in the future. Just showing that this is indeed what happened. V'yamad malach Hashem. And the angel of God stood. Yamad means he stood. V'mshoel hakromim. And the path, Shoel is the path, hakromim of the vineyards. Gader mizeh v'gader mizeh. A fence on this side and a fence on that side. Rashi in 24. Bimshoel. So there's a footpath. Kitarguma, it's understood. Bishvil. A shvil is a path. When the Rebbe used to walk down into 770, come to Daven, it was crowded. All of a sudden, a shvil opened up. That was a term that was used, which means a pathway. Similarly, Lishalim in the soil of Samaria is sufficient for footsteps. But the Yaspik called Ofar Shemreim, while the soil of Samaria will be enough. Leah is Nidbak, the compass or Glaim, which stick to the soles of the feet, Mehilucham when they walk. He's just giving an example of that it means a pathway. Similarly, the same word, measured water with the footsteps, with his feet, through his walking. Okay, it was fenced from this side and fenced from that side. So some gader, a fence when mentioned in Torah, is without further specifications. Shalavanimu, it's made out of stones. As the verse says in Proverbs, the stone fence was in ruins. Just bringing out that it means a stone fence. That's usually what it just means when you say a fence without saying that it's a white picket fence, then it means a stone fence. Okay. So now there's, right, it's kind of blocking the path where there is, now going through a pathway that either side is fenced off. Atera Osun is Malach Hashem, and the donkey saw the angel of God. Til Chatz is Akir, and it pressed. Lachatz means to put like pressure against the wall. The Til Chatz is Regel Bilam, and then put pressure on the foot of Bilam. El Hakir to the wall. The Yosef Lakais, and he continued to beat her. Rashi Til Chatz, he Atzma. And she pressed against the wall herself, the donkey. A tilchat is acherim. A tilchat, tilachetz is she herself. But tilchat, sacherim regel bilam, which means something else, meaning Bilam's leg. All right, some just dikduk. The verse in 26. V'yesed malach Hashem abor. And the angel of God continued Avor to pass through, V'yamid, V'mokom tsar, and stood in a narrow place, Asher ein derech, in a place that there is no path, Lintois yamin small, to turn right or left. So now it's more of a narrow path, more of a difficulty to get through, right? V'yosef malach Hashem Avor, and the angel of Hashem continued to pass ahead. To pass before yet further on. To be in front of him. The Mokam Acher in another place. In other words, the angel was moving, right, from place to place to go further ahead. So just bringing the phrase that means that he went ahead of them. And the Gadag Midrash explains, why did the angel lead him to stand in three places? We showed Bilam the signs that were representative of the avos of the patriarchs. Okay. Midrash he doesn't explain, but there's a lengthy Midrash on that. But Terah is also in his Malach Hashem. And further, what happened is the donkey saw the angel of God, but Tirbatz Tachas Bilam. So now couldn't go anywhere, right? Before you could at least go off the path was the first time, second time against the wall, and now there's no room anywhere to move, right? So the donkey crouched down. The Yicharaf Bilam, and the anger of Bilam flared. B'yachas also b'makel, and he hit the donkey with a makel with a stick. V'yiftach Hashem es pia osid. Oh, and now, finally, Hashem opened up the mouth of the donkey, V'teimer, and the donkey, she said, to Bilam, Masi Salocha, what did I do to you? Ki sani zeh shalosh regalim, that you've hit me now 3 times. Rashi, zeh shalosh regalim remez loy. What 3 regalim? Regal means foot. It also is a reference to the 3 times a year that the Jews would go up to Jerusalem by foot. Right? Remez loy. You want to uproot the nation that celebrates 3 times a year, right? What are 3 times a year? Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot. And that's what you want to do? Hey, what do you think? Who are you starting up with over here? Now, so it's one thing a donkey speaks, right? But what would happen if a donkey would speak to you? Huh? Would you speak back to the donkey, or would you just fall off your donkey? Probably fall off your donkey. Not Bilam. Here, Bilam says, listen to the donkey, ki salalti bil. You've humiliated me. You're asking why did I hit you 3 times? Because you humiliated me. If I would not have a sword in my hand, because I would now have killed you. Is he crazy talking back to a donkey? If I had a sword, I'd kill you. All right. Rashi in 29. He salal should be understood this kitarguma according to Unkelis understanding chayicht, that you have mocked. Lushin genai obizayin. It's an expression of shame and disgrace. Lu yesh cherer biyadi. If only I had a sword in my hand. This matter was of great embarrassment to him. Remember, he had two youth going with him, 2 men going with him as an honored person, but he also had all the dignitaries of Moab, right? And they were watching. So he says this matter is a great embarrassment to him in the eyes of the officers that were going. This guy's going to go kill an entire nation just with his mouth. Yet for this donkey, he needs a weapon to kill it. He needs a sword. I'm not exactly clear. That doesn't make sense to me. What Rashi just said.
Words.
Yeah, I was going to use. He obviously doesn't feel that that's an embarrassment, that he's going to use the sword. Because he said, if I would use the sword. I don't know, it doesn't kind of fit in. If it was an embarrassment, then why would he use a sword?
He would kill him because he hit him.
No, but using the sword is an embarrassment. So don't use the sword. That's Rashi saying that using the sword is an embarrassment. You want to go curse an entire nation with your words, right? And for one donkey, you got to use a sword. You can't use your words. So then why is he saying I'm going to use my sword? And that's an embarrassment. Why would he say that if it's an embarrassment? But now he's humiliating himself by saying that. I guess, I don't know, whatever. I guess hatred is so great. Maybe that ties in with the hatred. Hatred is so great that you say stupid things that are embarrassing for yourself.
He hit him one time, he didn't say how. He hit him a second time, he didn't say how. The third time, he hit him
With a
with
stick,
a
it said,
machetes,
right?
with a stick. Now he lost his patience. He says, if I would have a sword, I would kill
I
you.
understand. That's not answering my question, though. That I get it. That I understand, but that's not the question. Rashi just said that that's humiliating for him to do it that way. But he's choosing to do it that way. Why would he choose to do it that way if it's humiliating? So the answer, as I gave an answer now, is because hatred is so great that you do stupid things like saddling your own donkey that you don't do because the honored person has servants doing it, and saying this statement over here that is self-humiliating. That's what I mean.
And then donkey served him all his life in a good way. So donkey
Well,
told him.
we're going to see more about that. Yeah. We're going to see more about that. Okay. So now comes the donkey back. Back in argument. What's the V'tamer Osin el Bilam? And the donkey said to Bilam, Am I not your donkey? Your she donkey. That's right. Asher achafta alai, that you rode with me, ma'idcha, from before from ma'idcha. I'm trying to give it a literal translation, but it translates over here from the first, like from when you were still, like in Ad Hayem is until this very day. Haskin hiskanti lasis have I put you into trouble like this till now? And he said no. Rashi in 30. Haskin iskanti. This should be understood according to Targum, according to Onkelos, Amelech me'ilf vana. Have I accustomed? Right, this word, it's interesting because usually this word would be like to put into trouble. Sakana, sachin. Right here understood it as accustomed, as we see elsewhere. Our sages, they expounded the following way. Amru le, the offers of Moav said to Bilam, my time asusaya. What's the reason you didn't ride a horse? Why did you ride a donkey, not a horse? Amar la, and he said to them, shadoyi le kule, because I sent my horse out in the meadow to graze. As is explained in the tractate of Avodah Zarah. Interesting. 1 second. So interesting what it brings down there in the tractate of Avodah Zarah. So the Gemara there continues, says that the donkey said, am I not your donkey? And he said to, I use you as a donkey for only carrying burdens. He says, no, you've ridden. That you have ridden, says an isolated occurrences. Then she continues, from the inception, from the very beginning until this day. And furthermore, I provide you with transportation by day, and I serve you in relations at night.
What makes sense?
And this haskanti is about providing intimacy. That's how the Gemara learns out, right? Rashi brings the Targum as meaning accustomed, And the sages say custom in manner of intimacy. Okay, 31. V'yigal Hashem is Einei Bilam. And he opened Hashem the eyes of Bilam. V'yar, and he saw it's Malach Hashem. He saw the angel of God, Nitza B'derech, that's standing in the path. V'char b'shlufa, and his sword is drawn. V'yada in his hand. V'yikoi v'yishtachu lapa, and he bowed and prostrated himself on his face. Bilam. 32. V'yomer elav Malach Hashem, and he said to him, now the Malach, the angel of God, is speaking to Bilam. Alma hikisa es esaincha. For what did you hit your she donkey? Shalish regolim this 3 times. And behold, I have come out to Lesatin to thwart. For to embark on the journey, going opposed to me, against me. Rashi in 32, Kiyara Taderach Lanegdi, gives hasten the road against me, Rabbi Seinum, Chachmei Mishnah, the sages of the Mishnah, Darshu B'Lashon Noitrikai. They expounded this in a shorthand. Yara Rasa Natsa. The word which word? The word yarat is a shorthand. It's a shorthand, and it's an acronym. For Yira, she feared. Rasa, she saw. Natasa, she turned away. Because the road, the journey is against me. Kalaimar, what does it mean against me? Likin osi, to make me incensed. Lakni, to spite me. Well, the fee mashma, but so that's what our sages learn out. Rashi brings this a first explanation, which is interesting, which is not seemingly the simple explanation, because it's taking it as a acronym, and that's not simple meaning. But the simple sounding of the words over here is ki charad haderech lenegdi, for he was anxious on the road against me. Lashon retet, a word, yarat, is an expression of anxiety. The angel is saying like this, Kira yise bal haderech, for I saw the one on the journey, Bilam, shecharar umihera derech, that he was anxious in hurrying the journey, shulachasi, which is a journey in order to anger me, olahamirasi, and to rebel against me. Right? And that's the seemingly the simple. In other words, you're going quickly to try to, do what your agenda. So I'm slowing you down. Right? The angel's slowing you down. Shehula or mikra kotzehu, and this is an abbreviated verse. In other words, it doesn't mention specifically this idea. Right, that this is the purpose of what you're doing. David, like the phrase, and David longed, which means to say, David, his soul was longing. Okay, so in other words, I'm trying to slow down the path, I guess, if you will. Lashon acher, another explanation. Yarat, so this is a third explanation now. Lashon ratzing, it means appeasement. As we see that he mollifies me through the wicked. I see that he appeases and consoles me through the wicked. Who do nothing but spite. So means appeasement. Okay. Not exactly clear then. that you're now they're trying to appease the pathway. Okay. But tirani ha'asai. Then the she donkey saw me. Patate lafanai shalosh regalim, and turned away this 3 times. Ulai not to some me panai. Had she not turned away because of me, Ata now, Kamas Oischa Harakti, then I would have killed you too. And I would have spared her, she would have been alive. In other words, again, the Malach is speaking to Bilam and saying that the donkey turned away 3 times, because if not, if it would have continued, I would have killed you and let the donkey live. Right? Rashi in 33. Ulay not had she not turned away, lule, meaning were it not, had it not. Sometimes the word ulay, which means perhaps, has a function of lule, had not, right? Not perhaps. I would have killed you. Yeah. This is an inverted verse. V'hu kamai, it has the same meaning as gam harakti oischa, I would have even have killed you, kalaima, la yakava bilvad, karasicha, not only to delay you, right, al yadi, because of me, ki gam hariga, but I would have killed you if the donkey would have continued. So in other words, the donkey's kind of saved you. Be good to your donkey. And I would have let the donkey live. But now, because she spoke, and rebuked you. And you were unable to stand up to her rebuke, the rebuke of the donkey. Is written, he said no. In verse 30, right? We're in 33 right now, but if you go back to verse 30, he says, Vayomer lo, you said no. Right? So Harakticha, I would have killed her. Shalayimru. She rebuked you, right?
Yeah.
And you were able to stand to her rebuke because you said no, right? So he said, right? Harakticha, I killed her. Shalayimru, that should not say Zuhi Shisalke is Bilam b'teichochta. That is the one who dismissed Bilam with its rebuke. And he was unable to respond. Because Hashem takes pity on people's dignity. It says, and similar, we have a similar idea. That you shall kill the animal. One second. So, for example, if you have relations with an animal, right, the animal gets killed, not the person. The animal gets killed. And the reason why the animal gets killed, the people shouldn't say, "Oh, here's that, there's that dog or that animal that had, whatever."
Sin.
Right. So, in others to disgrace the person.
Okay, between the lines, we understand that the angel of God is only seen by Bilam, right? So he's rebuking Bilam, but nobody sees him. So
Right.
not for the angel being, if the animal was alive, if the donkey was alive, everybody would understand the rebuke that came to him through the donkey. So the donkey has to be killed. Which we understand. Nobody sees the angel except Bilam.
And so it's not. I don't have it. I don't have it clear over here because it's saying, I would have killed you.
And left the donkey alive.
Right. Now Rashi's saying, because of the rebuke that you got from the donkey, right? And you responded no.
Killed the donkey.
And then, I understand. No, I'm sorry. Because he said no, meaning he accepted the rebuke. Because he accepted the rebuke, then I would have killed the donkey. Right? And left you alive, that you should have dignity.
No, that's why at the end he killed the donkey. For his dignity.
Yeah, right.
Not because he would have accepted the rebuke. Oh, yeah, okay, you're saying, yeah, he would have accepted the rebuke. He would have killed the donkey. But now he killed you and let it remain alive.
Okay, 34. V'yemer Bilam el Malach Hashem. And Bilam said to the angel of God, Chatasi, I've sinned. Hilo yadaiti, because I did not know. Ki ata nitzav likrasi, that you are standing, nitzav, standing likrasi, to almost like greet me. You know, baderech, on the path. V'ata, now, imra beinecha ashuvali. And now, if it's evil in your eyes, I'll return. And, I'll go home. So obviously, it seems like I shouldn't be continuing this journey, right? Kilo yadaiti, 34 in Rashi. Gam zuganusai, this too is an embarrassment to him. Akarcha haidai was forced to admit, shuhaya mishtabeach, that he would boast for Yedeya, Daselya, that he knows the supreme mind of God, right? Opi ve'ayid, but his own mouth testified, lo yadaiti. He says, I didn't know. In other words, if he knows the ways of God, he should have known that this is an angel of God, but he didn't know that, right? So here he again is further disgracing himself. If this is evil in your eyes, I shall return. This response was intended to speak to Hashem in a hostile manner. Amar Lai, Bilam said to the angel, God himself commanded me to go. Malach, and you're but an angel. You're nullifying his words. He was accustomed to such things. That he would say something, and his angel would rescind. Right? He said to Avraham, take your son. And afterwards, Malach, through an angel, he nullified his words. Afani, I too. If it is evil in your eyes, I must return. In other words, right? If you see every day when we say, the Akedah, God commands him to himself, but when it comes to stop him from harming his son, Yitzchak, it's an angel that says it. It's the same thing over here. God himself commanded me to go. Now all of a sudden, an angel is coming to tell me, okay, fine, I'll do if that's what it is. Huh?
He compares himself to Abraham.
Why is this hostile, though? If he's just saying the way God did things before, I guess because he's comparing himself to Avraham, right? And he thinks he's, a holy guy, and he ain't. Okay. 35. And the angel of Hashem said to Bilam, Lech iman nashim, go with these people, with the people. The F is and nothing. It's a davar adaber, the word that I will say, Eilecha, to you, Oisei tidaber. That is what you shall speak. And Bilam with the dignitaries of Balak. Rashi in 35. Lech ima nashim, go with these men. B'der sha'adam reitzalei lech, along the path that a person wishes to go. So that's the path that he's taken. I mentioned that yesterday. Here it is, Rashi saying, Lech ima nashim, go with these men, because your portion is going to be with them, seifcha, because your end will be la'abed min ha'ilam, to perish from the world. F is but only al against your will. The word that I shall speak, you shall listen. Im Sari Balak, he went with the officers of Balak, last Rashi. Samach Kalalam, he was happy to curse Israel, Kemaisam, as they were. Meaning, what did it mean they went together? They went in the same mission to curse the Jews. 36, V'yishma Balak, and Balak heard. He ba Bilam. The Bilam was coming, right? Now the king, Balak, he heard this. And he went out to greet him. El Ir Moav, to the city of Moav, Asher al Gvul Arnain, which is on the border of Arnain, right? On the Asher Biktsei HaGvul, which is at the edge of the border. Remember, Moav was bordering with the Amorites, if I recall. Okay. Vayishma Balak in 36, Rashi, Shalach Shluchim Levasre. Bilam sent messengers to inform him. El Ir Moav, to the city of Moav, means El Metropolitan Shalom, means to the metropolitan city. Ir Achashuva Shaloi, the main city. Loimar, this is to tell us, Rama Elam Mevakshim Lakor, see what these Israelites wish to approve. As he's showing him the sights, the big things in town. Look what the Jews want to destroy over here, right? 37. And Balak said to Bilam, Halei shalach shalachti, did I not send Elecha for you, Likra lach, to call for you, Lama la, why did you not come to me? Ha'omnam la yuchal lekabdecha, am I not capable of honoring you? Rashi, ha'omnam la yuchal, am I not capable kabdecha to honor you? Nistabas Yosef it says, me'imai v'kolei. So there's a prophecy that in the end he would leave him in disgrace. That Bilam would be left in disgrace. Bilam would be left in disgrace by Balak, right? In other words, in the end, he is not able to honor him. And Bilam responded to Balak, Hine, behold, Basi Elecha, I came to you. Ata Hayaychal Ucha. And now, Hayochal Yuchal, am I able, Daber Muma, to speak a thing? Hadoiver Asher Muma, Hadoiver Asher Yosim Hashem Elakim, Befi Oisa Daber. Hadoiver, the word, Asher, that will, Yosim, be placed, Elokim, God, Befi, in my mouth, I say Adaber, that I'm going to speak.
He left him in disgrace in front of
Huh?
He was disgraced in front of Balak.
He was what you mean in the end?
Yeah.
He wasn't able to honor him, and he was,
You learn a terrific lesson from Bilam. Okay, a person could think he's such a great prophet, and yet he thought he could fool God. But in the end, he can't fool God, even though he's a great prophet.
right.
So how about a lesser person who thinks he's gonna fool God? If a prophet can't fool God, how about a lesser person? How about me or you? We fool God?
Yeah.
I'm going along because in the end, I'm gonna cheat him out of his own thing, you know? I'm gonna outsmart God. Philip says, I'm so good, I'm so smart, I'm gonna outsmart God. But in the end, he can't do it. How about a lesser person? He's gonna outsmart God. Like me, what do you mean, like you, like me?
So, so the Rebbe asks a question: when the donkey spoke to Bilam, he said, "I'm your donkey that I rode with you from when you were, from way back till now, and you've been accustomed to do so." Why is the donkey saying that? What's that got to do with anything? He should have just said, "Hey, there's an angel in front of me with a sword, and that's why I did what I did." The Rebbe Sicha, to what I just said. Huh? Verse 30, right? Look at verse 30. Right, what does he say? The donkey said to Bilam, "Am I not the donkey or she donkey on which you have ridden since you first started until now? Have I been accustomed to do this to you? Like, like you hurt my feelings, and why wouldn't you say there's an angel? Look, there's an angel in front of me with a sword. Why don't you just say that?"
Who didn't know where he responded to the, sheep.
Uh, עצם העובדה שעושה לבלעם אילו הייתה עושה. כמה בזמן היה הדף הקיים? I guess it's like going into something gently. So right away you said, "Look, there's an angel here and with a sword," and he didn't see it. So instead of going into that immediately, he's kind of, "Hey, I'm yours. What are you doing?" Which is the idea that God has, God um, has concern for the disgrace of a person, even when they're a disgraceful, despicable person. What a lesson that is, right? Right. What a lesson that, what's going on like in the political world, right? The way that God has compassion and won't disgrace the person, even though they're a disgraceful and despicable person. Amazing. Okay.